Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shagana Bhavatu Sagano Punaktu Sakaviryan Karabhavakei Tejas Vinavati Tamastuma Vitveshavakei Om Swa Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivaspadaya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Charyaya Nachiketase Cha. Namaskaram. So we saw the first two mantras of the Tritiya Valli of Pradama Adhyaya of Kathopanishad. In this third section, the Guru Yamadharmaraja is teaching Nachiketas the sadhanas for Atma Vidya. And to do that, he emphasizes on the Jiva Bhavam. We saw in the first verse, Ritam Bibantau Sukritasya Loke Guham Pravishtau Parame Parate Chaya Dabhav Brahma Vito Vadanti Panjak Nayoye Trinaj Kesa hai. Ritam Bibantau. So what we've gone through this before. To experience the karma palas that you enter into the body, the loka. But how do I enter? I enter as a chaya. Chaya, that means the light is the Ishvara. So chaya doesn't exist by itself. Chaya means shadow. The shadow exists because there is a light and there is an impediment to the prakasham of the light. The impediment is avidya, therefore there is a chaya. The chaya is the jiva rupam. I don't see the light, I see only the shadow. We saw example, just to remember, when I look at the sky, world right now, I don't see the light, I see the object. Light makes the object to be visible, but I don't see the light. So like that, Ishvara is with me, and I, the jiva, as a shadow, is in this body. This body is my lokam. And this is what he said. Then the next mantra, he said, the jiva is having a journey. What journey? I don't go anywhere, you say. See, journey is something where you move from a place to place. If I travel from London to Paris, I make a journey because this place changes. But sometimes when you look at the picture, look how old I am. I was like this so young. So much life journey I traveled through. So here you don't talk about displacement in space, but talk about displacement in time. And come back to the house. So the place doesn't change, but the time is oneself, both in experience and existence, in different space and time. So that means the Guru is not telling us to view the life as a journey. Sedur ijananam aksharam brahmayat param abhayam tadvishadam param nachiketam sakemahi. This also we saw. So what he said that here, in the journey, you have this body, the life is a journey. The Jiva Yatra can happen in two ways. One way will be Ijananam Sedur Nachiketam Sukemahi. Ijanana means yajnam. Ijanana means one who does yajnams. Agni Vidya, Karma Upasana. Now here we are talking about only those people among us who understand that they are jivas. Okay? If you don't even think of you as a jiva, then you don't even come to this understanding. Having understood I am a jiva, I am the shadow of the light, my journey in this life is manifold. And how do I do? I have two margas, the Veda says. One is doing the karma upachana margam, dharmartha kami. I do progressively to different status in this my existence. I attain my liberation, sukham. Or abhayam didirshadam param, aksharam brahmayat param. Or I know that I am a shadow. If a shadow is moving away from the light, the shadow multiplies, it elongates, it dilutes. But if the shadow turns towards the light, the shadow becomes one with the light. So the jiva can take two journeys. The pravritti margam, where I go around the world, I take the janma with a righteous life, or I choose Adhyatma Vidya. I started looking up to my true self. So the journey is therefore inevitable. The direction of the journey can be different to this two being. Now, having given this, now he's going to talk about a little bit more how this, I think this verse from 3 to 9. In the first verse, he said, who are the travelers? Two people, Ishvara and Jiva. Ishvara is a light, Jiva is the shadow. The second mantra just now we saw two kinds of journey. One going towards the kramam, dharmartha kamam, pravritti margam. The other one is towards adhyatma vidya, moksha. Then the next two verses, verse 3 and 4, he is going to say, by an allegory, by an example, that your traveling requires a vehicle, a car to move around. So he is going to give you a Ratha Kalpana. It is very famous, you all know it. Even Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan quotes it almost verbatim, that your body is your chariot and you have different faculties to drive this chariot. So you go in this chariot. Then in the verse 5 and verse 6, he says, given the chariot, what does a sensible man do? What does insensible guy do? What does a ajnani does? What does a jnani does? Then in 7 and 8, he says, what is the benefit of the jnani and what is the result of the Ajnani. In the ninth, he says, what is the Prayojana Pal? So these 9 verses are about Jiva Yatra. Right? So let's see the next verse. So there are 2 verses, 3 and 4. You'll read it together. We will see it together. So the meaning will be much more clear. Atmanam radidam vitti shariram radamevatu buddhim tu sardim vitti manak dakravemecha indriyani hayanahur vishayam steshu kocharam atmendriya manoyuktam bhokdet yahur manisha. This is a very straightforward example given, very straightforward meaning, simple one. But to really understand it well, we need to contemplate on our very nature. Maybe let us take a small experiment now for 5 minutes. So if possible, sit straight. That means with your back straight, relaxed. Just look at your body. Maybe look at your palms. Look at your hands. Maybe you notice something that you've not seen before. Just look at it. It is your body. Right? Now we are going to take maybe 1 minute. We are going to look at the breathing, right? So I suggest you gently close your eyes and listen to what I'm saying and try to do. Close your eyes. And then you're going to have a long, deep breathing. So breathe in, breathe out. Gently. No need to hold anything. As you breathe in and breathe out, you look at the experience of the nostrils where the air enters and where the air goes out. Slowly breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just concentrate on the nostrils and the breathing part. Now, as you are doing it, just listen to me in parallel. So I will say a couple of numbers. Listen carefully to those numbers, and then you register in your mind. 1, 5, 8, 1, 9, 4, 7. Very good. What is this number? If I tell you the number, what it is 15th, 8, 1947. Now, I want you to slowly add those digits, like 1 plus 5 plus 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 7. Now, breathe in slowly. Breathe out. You can open the eyes if you are closing. Now, this 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, what were we doing? We were doing a small journey, right? So we did this journey just for us to discriminate what we are made of. So we were looking at this body, my hand, my palms. First time I'm looking at it today. Oh, it is weakened. The nerves are showing up. Now this body, which you can see, it is given to me. I cannot change it. I may manipulate it, I may nourish it, but I cannot fundamentally change it. I cannot stop its deterioration. I can take some measures to prevent it. So I have very limited control, but it is something which I possess. But I'm able to see my body, to experience this, because there is a life force in me. So when I was looking at the breathing, if you are focusing on it, it is suddenly giving me a peace. There's a shantam there. This prana is a gross form of the light that we talked about. The light does give you this prana, a shakti, to exist in this body. So I said, have a long, deep breathing. Probably you have tried it, which means I cannot just say, for example, you become short or long or tall. Your body cannot change, but you are able to modify the depth and the length of your breathing by prayatna. It means you have an increased power on your breathing than in your body, but not absolute power, because you cannot control how the breathing coming in or going out. Then I said, listen to the numbers. So you are focusing to listen to the numbers. But some may have some bell ringing in between. You are not intending to listen to the bell ringing, but you heard. Why did you hear that? Because it is not me intending to hear, but my ears heard them. I have no control. Had I opened the eye, I would have seen this changing screen. So this indriyas, like my breathing, has got independent functions. They bring in matters to me, whether I like it or not. Although I was intending to listen to the numbers to be given, I heard the ring of the bell. So I learned, therefore, I have no control on the indriyas. They will do whatever they need to do. But did you worry about the ring? No. You swiftly ignored that bell because you wanted to listen to the numbers. So that means what the Indriyas giving to me, I don't need to worry about it. I have the capacity to ignore them, discard them, control them. So I have that power. Then the numbers came. Now I have an alignment of hearing and absorption of the numbers. When the numbers are given, at least in some of you, the thoughts would have come. What are these numbers? What do we have to do with this? After all, what has it got to do with Vedanta? Am I wasting my time? So all kinds of thoughts comes to you. These thoughts did not come from your hearing or from seeing or from speaking or from touching or tasting. So they are not from Indriya Vastu, but it is coming from your vritti, from your mind. So I have a mind which is an overlay to the Indriyas, and the mind can also bring the Vishayas. When the Indriyas bring Vishayas from outside, mind can bring it from inside. For some, this nothing may come. For some, many would have come. Some may be not even thinking the numbers because the mind has now taken about number theory or cybernetics or computing. The vikalpam is there in the mind. Vikshep is there in the mind. So the phenomenal force of mind is independent in you, but it is malleable, controllable. And you control it. He said, oh, okay, mind, don't worry. He is giving some other clue. Let's listen to the clue. Then I said, 15th August 1947. Then this random numbers made a meaning to you. And many of you may know it. This is the Independence Day for India. Of course, the mind will come. Oh, Independence Day, Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru. So you have a feast of matters coming to you, just all without your effort. You see how helpless I am. I'm just a witness. So many things happening there. Then I said, compute these numbers, add those numbers. Now, this time, you are elevated to your buddhi, the supreme form of the mind, where you are not thinking. There is no thought coming through when you're counting. I'm sure you are busily calculating, adding 1 plus 5, 6 plus 8, 14. Did I miss? So your intellect, when your buddhi is involved, there is a dridasittam, there is no vikalpam. So if I X-ray Raji's mind or Lakshmi's mind or my mind or Balaji's mind, when you're computing, it is the same buddhi. But when you are thinking before that, when I X-ray it, it will be different because your thoughts are different from my thoughts. So in the mind itself, the subtlest part of the mind called buddhi is the place to be in if you need to be deterministic about your vision and share a common vision across. So now, as a jiva, I witness all my body, prana, indriyas, mind, and bhukti. You see that? So you and I are the jiva traveling in all these tiers. And in each tiers, we have a very different capacity to control, capacity to exercise influence. Now, if you understand this, then this mantras will be very useful and very easy to see. So let's see the third mantra. Atmanam raditam vitti shariram ratamevatu. Vitti, viddihi. Viddihi means to vid means to know. Vedas, the root word vid. Viddhi means may you know. What do you have to know? Atmanam ratitam. Ratam means chariot. I think Ratham is a good example than a BMW car. Let's take the Ratham, stick with the Ratham. Atmanam, that means here the Atmanam is the Jivatma. It is you and I are the owner of the chariot. You're going to see what the chariot is. Chariot is the body. Atmanam radidam vidhi. May you know that you are the master of this chariot. What is a chariot? Shariram radimevatu. This shariram. Shariram here is the stula shariram. This external body that you saw. That is your ratham. Because without the body, only when I see you near me, I say, oh, Mani Mama is here. Because I can take his body. That means the Jivatma Mani is taking his chariot, his body, coming to me. The anything you do in your life, therefore you are riding your chariot of your body. Because the body is yours. Therefore you are the Yajamana, Atmanam. Right. Buddhim tu saratim vidhi. May you know your buddhi is the sarathi. Sarathi means the charioteer. Because today you come to this class because buddhi says, let's go to the class. So buddhi is what is driving you to do things. Whether buddhi is fully capable or not, that's a different point. We'll come to that later. So anything that you do, Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, before they spawn into three parts, they become Parashakti in the Buddhi. Sri Mata, Sri Chitaknikunda Shambhodam, Devakar Samtida. Chitaknikunda Shambhodam, Chitaknikundam. That is a Buddhi. Chit means knowledge, Buddhi. So the rasam of the light is reflected on the subtlest layer of the mind called Buddhi. And before the shadow happens, that is purely Chitabhasan. The shadow of Ahankaram comes in, it becomes a Jiva. So the Buddhi, that is the Buddhi you're talking about here. The Buddhi is a Sarathi. So what it means is that you have employed your intellect as your driver to drive in your life. Which means you got to pay him well, keep him clean, keep him in good company. Let the intellect take the responsibility to lead your life. Every decision you make is made by your intellectually scrutinized, reasonable, reasoned. Okay. Then, Manaha Prakraham evacha. Cha means and. Manaha, this mind. Prakraham. Prakraham means the reins, the rope that you hold, it's a kadivalam in Tamil. The reins, the whole thing. So when you ride a chariot, you need to control the horse with the rein. Okay. Where does rein connected to? That comes in the next mantra. Indriyani hayanahur. Indriyani. Indriyani means Bhagavachanam, Indriyas, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas. So here we take the Jnanendriyas importantly. Indriyani hayan ahuhu. Ahuhu means the learners say. Ahuhu means told, said. What is that is being said? Indriyanihi hayan. Hayan means horse. Hayagriva we say. Griva means neck. Haya means horse. Hayagriva is a horse neck. The horse, the root comes from hayan. So indriyani hayan ahu. That means the senses, sense organs are the horses. How many sense organs we have? 5. So you got a 5 horses chariot. So mind is holding the horses, the senses. Obviously, the Sarathi, the intellect must hold the mind. Because the horse rider has to hold the rope. The rope connects to the horses. You don't directly control the senses. You see, there's a lot of insight. The buddhi cannot control my ears, cannot control my eyes. No matter how smart you are, you can't make a decision, hey, ear, stop listening to this. Buddhi has no power. The driver just simply sitting and saying, oh, hearts, take a right and left. Okay. So not the Google Maps. So it's typical hearts. So you need the mind is the rein. You pull it to the right, pull it to the left, hold it tight. The hearts know that the boss is giving instruction through this string. It behaves. The string is a mind. So the intellect has to tell the mind what to do. And the mind has to perform. This is very important because, see, why the buddhi is the driver? Buddhi is a chetanam. It is very clear. Buddhi, what is buddhi and mind differences? Mind is vikalpam, sankalpa vikalpam. Is it this or that? This is good or bad? Should I do or not do? All this kind of a thoughts is mind. This is black. This is white. That determination is buddhi. So buddhi has to have a clear vision of where to go. If buddhi, driver doesn't know where to go, you cannot go anywhere. So buddhi must really, viveka must be there. This is the path I want to go. There are 2 paths, right? I want to go this way, do all the yajnam, do all the punyam, sevanam, bhakti, shraddha, get the next janma, attain Vaikuntha Vasham, I can go. Or I want to take all this I do as a karma yogi, therefore I get the Atma Jnanam, I get liberation. So the buddhi has to decide. And once it decided, then you have to act. See, I said in one of this mantra before, Dhadu prasadat mahimana. See, you would not have by the way, what is the number you added to? If it is 8, you did right? If you've not done it, that means you got influenced by other indriyas. So to control the indriyas, mind has to come in. You may be a extremely bright scholar, you know all this righteousness, you know all this, like Duryodhana is not a bad person. He's a very good student, first class student. He learned everything. He told Krishna, look, don't tell me, don't come and teach me about dharma. I know. I can take a class for you, Krishna. I know everything. But I don't know how to follow it. I'm not able to follow it. Now, if you want to teach dharma, go and teach Arjuna. He is innocent child. He doesn't know what to do. That's why Krishna chose to teach Arjuna, because he has to start to knowing dharma. Intellectual pursuit he starts. Upasana comes later. So what I'm saying, therefore, you may have a great knowledge, you may have a great decision-making power, and you may decide, I shall not smoke from today onwards. Smoking is harm. I can give a lecture, but you smoke. Why? The execution power is not with the brain, with the intellect. It is with the mind. Mind is the one who places kama krodha, raga dvesha. So it has to be, therefore, controlled to be aligned. We're going to see that in the next mantra, how it is to be done. So that's the reason why the very scholarly pursuit are no good at all. You may know everything, right? But if you can't implement anything, what is the point of that? If you can implement everything, your mind is in control, but you don't know what to do. What's the point of that? So you must have karma upasana samuchayam to get this chitta shuddhi, and the jnanam to get the intellect part. So mind has to be balanced. All that we do, all this bhajan, all this singing, all these things, satsanga classes, listening, all this, to get this mind to come into control. When the mind can take control, then it can pull it tight. It can, when the driver pulls it, it becomes strong. Turn the direction of this thing. Ignore this sound of the bell. Focus on the numbers, oh mind. Ignore this smell of sweet from the kitchen. You're in the class. Ignore it. That's why sometimes I walk straight to Bala Mama. He doesn't look at me. He just passed through that and said, Mama, you're not seeing me. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about the next class of bhajan. See what happened now. His vision brought my image to his mind, but his mind discarded it. I don't care because I am engaged. You see, the Indriya Anugraham, if you need, your mind has to be controlled. Now, very important insight in this. A lot of people say, look, people say, give up the kama krodham. No, desires make you worry about things. Don't desire anything. Is it possible? Even the guy who tells you cannot be like that. You cannot control desires. Desires will come. Desires will come in Rama, Krishna, Shiva. Whoever has got a mind, there will be desires. So you don't control desire. Why do you have to control it? Next door, there is some problem. There are two people are fighting. Do I have to control it? What I can do? I'll ignore it. Like that, this exercise we did, we know Indriyas are not us. So when Indriyas bring things, why I tell Indriya, don't bring it? You bring it, goes to dustbin. I don't care. So don't need to feel guilty about desires coming into the mind. Kama krodham coming into the mind is fine. But don't take it. Ignore it. Now you say, I'm not able to ignore it. That's a different point. That is nothing to do with your indriyas. When the smell of laddu is in front of me, the smell and the look and the everything salivating in my mouth, I want to eat it. That is not my listening, my seeing, my smelling faculties problem. Snake means it has to frighten you. That is the nature. Like now calling in Ardhanam, calling ask Krishna, Krishna, what are you talking? You ask me not to harm anybody, not to frighten anybody. My very nature is to frighten people. See, like that, the Vasana's nature is to bring in. But you can ignore it. Now, how do I ignore it? Because there is a great insight in this. You know, all the supercomputers you see, computers can do so many processings, multitasking, billions of instructions. As of today, any processor can only do only one at a time. All the supercomputers have multiple processors. They're able to work seamlessly. Multiple buddhis, like Ishvara. The whole world is working because there are multiple processes in everybody's mind. Your buddhi, my buddhi, Ishvara buddhi. See, if all our buddhis are thinking about bad things, tsunami, terrorist attack, religious disharmony, poverty, so be it. That will happen. Because the collective buddhi is asking for it. So when it is a singular being, I am, my mind, even though it is supercomputing capacity, at any given time, it only focuses on one thing, but the time is so small, it can jump to many things. So what is a trick for me to control the mind from the asha is that you input a processing requirement onto the mind that engages it. That input should be such an interesting input, challenging input, so that mind get engaged. So therefore, don't go to crossword and Sudoku. Go for a Rama Nama, Krishna Nama, japas. Create interest and joy in this japam. Then your mind is engaged. The mind is engaged. The interruption from the Vishayas are not going to be a problem to you. So this is the kind of insights. We're going to talk about a little bit more. But I just wanted to tell you why this comparison also reasonable. Vishayas and manas is a rope, because rope can be tightened, it can be sagged. You know, dull mind is like a sagged rope. What happens if the rope is, driver is drunk, yeah? Buddhi is drunk, okay? He's not holding the rope. The rope is just fluttering in the air, enjoying the breeze. What does a horse will think? Hey, I see a grass there. Oh, and I saw this fruit there. The one goes this side, one goes this side. In 2 minutes, the chariot is upside down. I am in the gutter. So don't blame the horses for it. The mind did not control. Don't blame the mind for it. The buddhi did not give the prescription. Don't blame the buddhi for it. Jiva has not looking into the Atma Bodham or a Jiva Bhavam. He did not realize this is a journey he is taking. Understand? Now, in the third line, Atmendriya Mano Yuktam Bhokte Jahur Manishinah. Now, all this is a how to say this? How beautiful the Vedas are. This Yamadharma Raja is Brahma Guru, right? He can say, I say this. But he says, no. Manishanaha. Manishanaha means, Manisha means finalized Siddhantam, conclusion. So Manishaha means the Jnanis who made the assertion. So the Jnanis are saying, what are they saying? Atma Indriya Mano Yuktam Bhokte. Oh, I the second line, I say, Vishayam Stesh Gochar. Where does his heart is going? The street it is going is Vishayam. So you have how many examples? You have Jiva as the Atmana, the Jiva is the master. Buddhi is the Sharadi. Manas is the rain. Indriyanis are the horses. Vishayan. Vishayan is the Gocharan. Gocharan means the margam, the path. Teshu means for them, for the horses. The Vishayas are the path. So it means Vishaya means that you want to enjoy. What do you want to enjoy? I want to enjoy the WhatsApp messaging. I want to do this. So wherever the mind senses goes, that is a path. So in this path, you are traveling. And who is the traveler? Who is the enjoyer? The Bhokta is Atma Indriya Mano Yuktam. Here the Atma is not Ishvara. Here the Atma is the body, Sthula body, Sthula Sariram. The Sthula Sariram, the Indriyam, the Mano, the mind, Yuktam. The Yuktam is another, I say, loaded word. I think Bhagavan Krishna likes this word very much. If you Bhagavad Gita, he uses many times Yuktam, Yuktam, Yogi, in many, many contexts. The Yuktam, the literal meaning is connected to, aligned with. So, Atma Indriya Mano Yuktam. That means this body, mind, Indriyas, senses, when they are all combined together, the Jiva enjoys this journey. Everything is important. The body has to be there. The Indriyas have to be there. The mind has to be there. All has to be connected. That's why it's called a Bhogatma. So when you go to deep sleep, you have disconnection to all these things. You experience nothing, right? The deep sleep, you don't experience anything. Well, Buddhist, some of the Buddhist disciples thought that for life is shunyam. But we say life is purna because the experiencer is experiencing nothing. See, abhavam, if you take a sattvadam, non-existence is what? Is existence or absence, right? I'm not playing with words, but for right now, just hold the thought there. Logically, it makes sense. There can be existence or non-existence. So in the deep sleep, I have no experience at all. The no experience is the state of my mind, my Sukshma Sariram. The abhavam is the existence. So abhava anubhuti is what? Shunyam. But then if you say, who is experienced of the shunyam? That's jiva. Jiva is not sleeping. Jiva is like Ishvara, is never sleeps. There's no sleeping. But in the deep sleep, he is experiencing abhoktam, abhavam. But he is shadow because he is not illumined fully, because he is clouded by the ajnana. So that's why this the Ratha Kalpana is a very interesting one. So we will talk about a little bit more as we go in the next mantra. So the next mantra, here he is going to talk about what happened to the knowledgeable person. Yastva vijnanavat bhavatya yuktena manasa sada tasyendriyan avasyani tushashva iva sarate. You have to very carefully read this verse. Here, what I told you is saying it. So a very good buddhi alone is not good enough. You need to have control of the mind. What is control of the mind? A dharmiga life. That means you have a daivika sambat, indriya disciplined, sense control, samadhamas, and all those things. So this is the reason why even if you go to Vedanta lectures, they will say, oh, go to the Japam, do the Parayanam. The only thing is they will say, don't just stop there with the Japa Parayanam and then look at the Saguna Brahma Upasana and Sakama Upasana. Come to Nishkama Upasana, Karma Yoga, and then Jnana Marg. So here it is telling you what is the problem if you don't have it. So first line, Yastva Vijnanavat Bhavatya. Bhavat. So you do Anvayam. Yaha tu avijnanavat. You have to split it like this. Tva vijnanavat should be yaha tu avijnanavat. Avijnanavan bhavati. Avijnanavan. Vijnanam avijnanam. Vijnanavan avijnanavan. What is vijnanam and jnanam? Jnana means the wisdom of knowing nitya, anitya vastu. The result of the intellect, the knowledge. Vijnanam is the application of the knowledge, assimilation of the knowledge. So you must have the jnana vijnana shakti. If you don't have the vijnana shakti, like you are like a library. Library has got all the books. You cannot apply. So vijnanam is application of the knowledge. So vijnanavan is the one who applies the knowledge. So if the jiva is avijnanavan bhavati, if he is like a avijnanavan, what does it mean? Jiva cannot be jnanavan, avijnanavan. It means jiva's buddhi is not vijnanavan. Jiva's buddhi is not proper. So we talked about this driver who is drunken. who has no determination of where to go, he has no lakshyam. If he is there, bhavati, bhavatya yuktena. Second line, the bhavati, you take the akaram here. Ayuktena manasa sada. Yuktam means together. Ayukta means not together. That means he's got a mind, sada. That means all the time his mind is not united. What is that? What does it mean? So he uses this word now, ayukta. Yukta means aligned. And I think in Gita, Bhagavan says, yuktahara viharasya yukta chedasya karmashu yukta swapna avabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Who regulate the habit of eating, sleeping, recreation, work, who regulate. Here the yukta ahara viharasya. Here yukta means regulating them. So Bhagavan uses the definition, yukta means regulation. Mayavesya mano ye mam nitya yukta upasana. Another sloka he says, engage the mind. Shraddhaya parayobhadaste me yukta tamamadaha. Yukta tamamadaha. Yukta tamaha means who is always positioned with alignment with the control of the mind. Yukta karmam tyaktva shanti mapnoti. So you have a lot of, I mean, you may have exercise to go into the Gita and find out all the yukta words. So yukta means engaged, aligned, consistent. So if a mind says, do this, I said, Buddhi says, do this, and mind says, no, you are an ayukta. Who has the control of execution? The CEO is the mind. Buddhi is a strategy advising steering committee. It is telling you what to do. Execution is done by the, or if you take Buddhi as CEO, is a COO. The operating officer is the mind. So if they are not aligned, company goes bankrupt, right? So here talks about the ayuktena manasasada. If your mind is always ayuktam, whatever the Buddhi says, your mind says, no. This class I must attend. No. I have to go to the pub. If you do that one, tasya indriyani, third line, you must look at it. Tasya indriyanya vasyani. You split it like this. Tasya indriyani avasyani. Avasyani. Vasyam means attraction. Here, Bhagavachana, Indriyani, Vasyani. In Sanskrit, when you do plural, adjective has to be plural, everything has to be plural. If the Indriyas are not controlled, not mesmerized, not hypnotized by the mind, not in control of the mind, Vasya means control, Avashya means uncontrolled. So the mind is not aligned to the buddhi. Why the mind is not aligned to the buddhi? Because the indriyas are not aligned to the mind. The horses are going this way and that way. The rope is sagging. Buddhi is saying, oh, I am going in the wrong direction. Help me, help me. Nobody's going to help you. So what happened to this indriyas? Dushta ashvaha iva sharate. So these horses become a dushta horses. All this is a very, very simple example. The point that we have to take, This is not just for Vedanta Atmajnanam alone, because we are talking about the Jiva Yatra. People don't care about even thinking that I am a Jiva. God bless them. They will have their own life. But when we are able to think about who I am, and today we have come to the point of understanding that I am not this body, not this mind, not these indriyas, not this buddhi, but I am the master of all these things. I am propelled in the time and space for an eternal travel. So I have only one power, that is to decide what journey I take. Do I go this way in front of the light behind me, creating more shadows and creating more images, more forms, more janmas, samsara marga, dharmika samsara marga? Do I do that? Or do I turn back and go to the Atma marga? So that question is that you and I have to make a decision. Adhikaratvam we have. Both are fine. Both are giving you Sukhamevahi, Abhayamastu, in a different time zone, different way. So just because you read Vedantam, don't go and ridicule somebody who is doing the puja all the time. Okay, they may not know the Vedanta Saram, but what they are doing is not incorrect. That's also fine. Someday they will come to this. Just because you learn Vedantam, you're always on the book and always on the knowledge, don't stop doing your Sandhya, don't stop doing your upasanas, but you do them because your mind and indriyam have to be in control. Believe me, definitely if you do this Nitya Karma Anushtanam, Karma Yoga, if you do, mind become very poised and it's like a sharp knife. Everything will come very clear. But that is what we are taking. So the journey has to continue. So we are in the journey. Many, many milestones have been passed. We never thought about the journey. We were just been dragged along, to be honest with you, at least for my case. Now I understand, hey, I am the master of the journey. I have two destinations to reach to. I can check any part, but before I make a decision and turn my horses, let me control the horses. Let me control the mind. This chariot itself, I control the horses. Horses are brilliant. My mind is, the chariot is broken. It's not glued. There's no oil in the wheel. The clog is clogged. That means I must put the oil. I must keep the body better. As much I can do. The MOT has to be done. So depending on the time and space, depending on the age, you take sattvic food. This is why Paramadayalu Bhagavan Krishna in that supreme knowledge discourse to Arjuna, he talks about what to eat. Eat this food, eat it. What a compassion he's got. Adhyaya in second chapter, and please eat sattvic food. Because you need this chariot. You need this body. So upavasam, there is a purpose for it. Too much of upavasam, you damage your body. So you take care. So body has to be taken care. That means we must do to help our body improve. The Ratha must be in good condition. Senses have to be controlled. So it's called Dhamma. Sense control you must do. Pranayamam, Japam. Sama, mind control. Karma Yogam. Tyagam. Then Buddhi needs to be fed with this knowledge like this. Now all this have to work together, and then the chariot and the driver is ready. And the jiva comes in and says, look, I made a decision, go north or go south. Your journey starts well. So if you don't have that capacity in this mantra, we learned you will go into the gutter. And we don't want to do that. Okay. So we stop there. Om Sakana Vavatu.
Om Sagana Vavatu.
Sakanau Punaktu.
Sagano Bhunaktu.
Saga Viryankaravavahai.
Sahaviriyam Karavavakai
Tejasvinamadidabastu.
तेजस्विनामदीदवस्तु
Ma Vidvishavahai.
मा विश्विषावहै
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Hari Om Tat Sat.
हरि ओम् दश्यते